For England, a tale of how God gets his way. The settings aside, we learn lessons from men who walk through life blindly, solely attending to them.
Every single man has a father.
Every single man a mother.
Every single man makes mistakes.
That he then tries to cover.
Every single man has a fate that he then fulfills.
Every man's fate was death, while Oedipus's was incest and to kill. And when their fates were truly presented, every man cried while Oedipus resented.
Oh God, give me a chance!
Begged every man thus,
whilst Oedipus proclaimed,
In no gods I trust!
Oedipus Rex and Everyman have two different views. In one, you are pointing a finger. In the other, you have three pointing back at you.
So we went from blaming him to recognizing our sin.
From blind ignorance to opening the door and letting him in.
Now every man displays another type of ignorance. The admiration of worldly goods lies within both peasant and prince. Every man lives in his world without repent until God takes notice and demands he pay his rent. Every man's omen, a message of death, to come before God with a clear, pure intent.
He begged for his fellowship. Kindred and cousin, he begged for his goods, yet they all refused to follow him.
Though every man spent his days ignoring good deeds, he begged and he pleaded until good deeds would concede.
I'll follow you, every man, until you are dust. But first you must take knowledge. In knowledge I trust.
And knowledge proceeded to teach every man a lesson, to swallow his pride and beg mercy from confession. He did so quite desperately and helpless to prove that he deserved heaven when God made his move.
Good deeds summon beauty, discretion, and strength. 5 wits came along, but they didn't go great length. As every man made his solemn march to the grave. Please sit down. 5 wits, discretion, and beauty, and strength move to save.
Their own lives they cherish, not every man so, and knowledge as well into the grave cannot go.
But good deeds is what every man needs in the end. Though seldom respected, good deeds is the best friend.
Now, Thebans believed that the gods held a script. They could make you dance with one finger they'd lift. All powerful and mighty, creating fates were like playing toys, so that the gods could sit back, relax, and enjoy. You can stop now.
Speaking of joy, let's now look to Oedipus,
Who last when we left killed his father and gave his mother a kiss.
The oracle proclaimed their son to this fate, so the father bound his ankles and said,
Before it's too late!
But a shepherd cannot bear to see the lamb die, so he rescued him, brought him to live a different life.
But when the lamb grew and a drunk sat too near, he whispered the fate in Oedipus's ear.
Curses! Curses!
Cried Oedipus.
I won't kill my father, or bed with my mother. I must run away farther.
He took off on his journey in anger and wrath, proceeding to kill the first man in his path.
Little did he know that man was his father first. He continued his journey until eventually the worst.
In Thebes he conquered, the Sphinx he defeated. To the hand of a widowed queen he was treated.
As you can imagine, the queen was not just his lover,
But mother.
who he longed for with lust.
These facts were unknown to Oedipus till Creon discovered what was making Thebes ill. Find the killer of the king that has passed from the oracle at Delphi. Delphi. From the oracle at Delphi was the assigned task.
Tiresias, a blind seer with more sight than eyes, spoke the truth before Oedipus made him despise.
He kicked and he screamed and protested.
All lies!
Then the shepherd from day old confirmed the queen's cries.
From the bedroom where she went to hang herself, where Oedipus removed the pins in order to help, he stabbed out his eyes, for he knew he was blind, cursed himself for his ignorance, ignoring the signs.
In the Greek play, there may be many paths, but only one destination. Attempting to evade your fate is the very thing that brings about its creation.
No matter your decisions to act morally or to sin, Sophocles tells us to blame the gods because they control our actions.
However, the oracles were self-fulfilling prophecies. The gods were not puppet masters dragging Oedipus along like a stubborn puppy. The reality of this world view is that we treat the thought of self-guilt with insolence. This shows culpable ignorance backed up by arrogance.
The The point that we are striving for is that free will is the difference. We go from having none to having only. The difference is in the gods' commitment.
Oedipus has no free will. The gods decide all that happens. This allows the people of this world to blame the gods for all their sins.
Every man has only free will, only his choices, and now he is free.
Free to destroy, free to lie, free to fuck, and free to get high!
And free to see that on his final journey from the land to the sky, an account of his good deeds is how God decides.
And so, as you see, they have things in common.
But Oedipus, every man walked side by side.
And Oedipus let his fate fall on him. Shit, we should get to class. Oh.